Hello, welcome to the Retro Shed. Now, over the weekend we have been gifted some items. We've got a pile of Spectrums, but what I want to really show you is in this box here. Yeah, this bunch of Spectrums here, some of them have been butchered, some of them work, some of them don't, I don't know. I'm going to test a pile of these and see if any of them are suitable for donating a 32K Spectrum mainboard. Dead. Right, finally we've got one that gives quite a stable picture, although it probably doesn't look like it on the phone. That is quite a stable picture. I have a Spectrum that works, so it's time to take the motherboard out of this one. Okay, so I've taken the main board out, it's nice and clean and it's working. I've just given it another test. Now that we've got our donor board, I can show you what was in that box. So here we have something that I have never seen before. Honestly, never ever seen one of these, not even back in the day. It's called a Saga 1 Emperor, and it's made, well, it used to be made by a company called Saga Systems in Woking in Surrey. And here's the original sheet that came in the box. This is the assembly sheet for it. What it is, it's a keyboard case for a Sinclair Spectrum, and there were a few of these on the market, and my friend had one. I think it was a DK Tronics one. It's very nice actually. And I've never ever seen one before. This one's boxed, it's complete, it's got the original instruction sheet, and it's even got a spare set of stickers for the keys, because the keys have got these little transfers on, which isn't particularly great because I can see those coming off with a bit of use. Now, I don't know if it came complete with the stickers already on, or somebody already has taken the time to do this, but I can't see those lasting very long. If we turn it upside down, it looks very much like the Spectrum just slots into the bottom there, and there's the ribbon cables that attach to the keyboard. So I think it's only fair that we get this lovely and complete board and make it into something a little bit special. What do you reckon? Now, the instructions aren't exactly clear as to how this thing all goes together, but I think basically what you do, you take the lower half of your Spectrum and it bolts to the underside of this keyboard here, because there's certainly no room there to actually put the Spectrum inside, so I think the whole assembly fits on top of your existing Spectrum. So what I'm going to have to do is take this keyboard section out so that I can attach all these screws in there, because there's very little room. There's little room to actually work under there, so I'm going to take this keyboard section off and see if it's easier to install that way. It's not a great design because there's very little support underneath these plastic lugs you see here. So when you tighten the screws up, what it actually does, it puts a bit of a strain on the moulding, and it kind of like pulls it, bends it. When you tighten it up, it does put a bit of strain on the plastic, and you end up with that sort of, oops, yeah, that's bent up in the air, so I'm going to have to release the pressure on some of these. So not the world's greatest design, but so the next step is to attach the keyboard connectors back to the main board. Okay, I've had some trouble fitting this thing. What I found is the ribbon connectors are much thinner than the original Sinclair one. So what I've had to do, when I plugged the ribbon cable in, half the keys weren't working. So what I've had to do is get some acetate and just pack it out a bit. I did try and respring the connectors, but I think I didn't do a very good job of that. So I put some acetate in there to give it a bit more girth. You can't beat the word girth, can you? So I've packed it out with acetate, and we're going to give it a go now. The connections are nice and tight. So I'm going to give this a go now and see if that works. So finally I've got the whole lot together and it's up and running. Now, so I have mixed feelings about this. It looks nice, it feels quality from this angle, and it's certainly nice to type on, which I'll show you in a minute, but I've got a thing about aesthetics, and what I don't like is that. I mean, that looks to me like a half thought out idea. You can see there where it's actually pulling the case down. The stress of doing those screws up distorts the case a little bit left and right. It looks like, well, it looks like a Spectrum has been bolted to the bottom of a piece of plastic, which is exactly what it is. It's not, I don't think it's the best design in the world. I would much prefer to have the Spectrum out of its original case and actually completely enclosed in a new case. It works, but I don't know, I don't like that. It looks pretty naff, I think. So if we turn it over, and let's run it through its paces. So let's test all the keys. Classic English sentence that tests every single key. Okay, so it's definitely quicker to type on that than it is on the original rubber keys. So bonus points for that. It does type quite nice indeed. Now I know this isn't really testing the keyboard at all, but I couldn't resist a quick blast on Jetpack this morning. Definitely one of my favourite games on the Spectrum. Absolutely brilliant game. Right, so there it is. That's the Saga 1 Emperor keyboard for the ZX Spectrum. Have you ever seen one of these before? Because I certainly haven't. What do you think of it? What do you think of it? Give us a shout in the comments. Do you like it? Do you not? I think it's alright. I think it's a bit of a, not the best solution in the world, but it's okay. It looks quite good. I might take it to one of the retro shows and see if people have seen one before. Right, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll catch you again soon. Bye-bye.